Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases. Hello, everyone. Glad you're able to join us tonight. Tonight I have a guest.
Esteemed.
Honored to have him here. Be working with Ruckus. We've been on the road now for several days and doing some work. And as I came up north, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for being here. As we share some of the events of today. Today is the anniversary of the memorial ride and drive that they have yearly for the tragedy of the Evansdale of Lyric and Elizabeth. And so today, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with their families, and we'll be sharing some of the things that went on today. And if you have any questions or anything, throw them in the chat. As always, be respectful of mods, families, and each other. But we want to thank everybody for being here, and absolutely. If you do not know who Ruckus is, this is Ruckus Rocks. Of course, you know my background and my introduction, but Ruckus, if you would just introduce yourself.
I'm Ruckus Rocks. I go by Ruckus. I have a channel as well. I work with Steve, collaborate with him on some projects, and this is one of them we're working together on. Retired law enforcement from Florida, and I'm enjoying myself on this trip. It's good to see Drew and the family and all his friends and stuff. We're getting to know everybody pretty well, so it's looking forward to next year. And hopefully there won't be one next year.
Yeah, and of course, Ruckus had put out to a lot of his supporters of sending videos and things, and he shared some of the videos with the families that to Drew, and tell them about the responses.
Yeah, they really appreciated that. You guys sent me personal videos for Drew and Larry, and they got to listen to those. And they're really taken back by it. They were very. They didn't realize so many people were behind it.
Absolutely, yeah. And not only our communities, of course, we have our support, and but within this community up here, I mean, you see all the agencies. As you'll see, some of the things that, such as this is a video of Lofty's Lounge, where they have this yearly event. Up on the stage there, of course, you saw the new fences and memorial paintings that would be put up in the park. And of course, we went to the park also today, Angel Park, and which is a beautiful location that is a memorial not only for Elizabeth and Lyric, but they have multiple families. It's absolutely a center for other families to come and pay respects to their families and the memories of. But
and it was a beautiful day out there today too, which was nice. There was a lot of people involved with the bike ride and the car ride.
And but we want to thank everybody for the support that you have and everything that's been going on with this. But this is a fence that I brought up about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Ruckus and them were able to get it assembled, and we'll be talking to Drew hopefully tomorrow night, and we'll have some more information we'll be able to share and some more images and photos. But like I said, there was a lot of things going on today. Of course, Ruckus and I have been in and out and going and doing other things, working on the case and everything. But just want to share some of the information with y'all today, and thank y'all for your support. And let's see what's going on in chat before I get too far behind. Hello, CJK. There's Paula. Hello, Gail. Jill Moser. Yes, Paula. I saw the shooting of Trump today, and um, our thoughts and prayers with his family, of course. Olivia too. Yeah, Melissa Wild. It is shock mode. There's a lot of things going on right now, and there's probably most of the world is watching reports of that. I hate that we're in this position. Paula, Melissa. Let's see here. Let's see here. Sensei, good to see you. Cryptex, hello, good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot of people that's going to be watching that, and that's one of the things that we'll come up with a show tomorrow night also, because most of the world is currently watching the developments of what's happening with Trump. Sensei, double trouble. Nah, we're not trouble, but also. This is part of the memorial, of course, at Angel Park on the island. If you ever go and visit there, of course, you'll see this seating that they have for this family and other families. But of course, this is Elizabeth Collins area, and then of course we have Lyric's bench, and but then we get to later on the day that we went to. I think Lofty's, they started forming up about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, registration started at 8. You had to register and get a wristband if you're going to ride.
And but the community came in. They had law enforcement, fire truck, and they had the organizers. And we see this every year. That of course, when you saw me inside with the video, that's part of Lofty's. Whereas it's a little bit cooler. It was pretty warm out there, and it was a pretty good. Gathering of folks, and Ruckus was able to get his drone up, and only almost hit me one time.
Yeah, that poor little thing. It was windy.
Yeah, it was windy, so he almost hurt the national treasure. he buzzed me one time with it.
He actually got called the national treasure today by somebody that we just met.
Yes, yeah. Here's Ruckus, and here's the national treasure. Oh, True Crime Web. Love the shirts. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate it. It's we have them for, let's see, last year was our first year here together.
They were tan.
And this year we got the green, and they had some other, they color code the shirts for whatever duties that you have. Uh-oh. Ruckus, they say you does not suffer insomnia. Okay. Cryptex.
No, I enjoy it. I don't suffer from it at all. I enjoy every bit of it.
They miss your hat.
Yeah, it's in the room.
Yeah, he's doing the hair products.
Some people don't even recognize me when I don't have a hat on.
I know it.
Yeah, my wife wouldn't let me in once because I didn't have my hat on.
Oh. If you'll look up all the way in the top edge of here, you'll see that there's a UFO flying in the top left-hand corner above the fire truck. This is Ruckus's as he buzzed the fire truck, and but they didn't shoot it down with a water cannon. I was asking them to, but that failed to happen. Leanne, good to see you. Molly, good to see you. Miranda Lee. But there was quite probably close to 100 motorcycles plus vehicles, at least today.
It was quite a procession. Fire truck led them out, and law enforcement.
Marine says, Stephen Ruckus, you two are angels for these families. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate it. We wish to, as we talk to the families, they're absolutely in awe of our communities, as we explain to them that without y'all's support and y'all's help, we wouldn't be able to do this. And we absolutely thank you guys for that. Miranda Lee has been a member for 16 months. Thank you. Love you, Stephen Ruckus. Thank you for all you do. Justice for Lyric and Elizabeth. True. Thank you. Very kind of you. Hello, Peggy. Mustang 65. Hello. Good to see you. Brandon, good to see you. Hello, Barbara. If you do not know who Barbara Hall is, she is the Timmy D's mother and has been fighting for justice for a long time. If you ever get a chance, go check out Timmy D's and you'll see her long battle for justice. Molly, people know treasure when they see it.
They certainly do. I call it something else. I have code names.
I even have a chair at Lofty's now, don't I?
Yes, he does. Did you notice that before I pointed it out?
No, I didn't even see it.
Right there at the register too. It says Stevie. Right
Stevie.
On the back
it has Stevie. I mean, I'm honored. I've only been there. This is my second year, and they already have chairs named after me. CJK, my granddaughter team won their national championship game. She won MVP for her pitching and outstanding pitching. Beautiful. Excellent.
Congratulations.
That's a relief for the family. I see, scholarships coming.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've had some interesting things happen here at the hotel as well. That family.
Oh.
And then that gentleman, you remember he was checking in. He looks over and we're in the lot.
Yes, Ruckus was doing a test down in the lobby with a skeleton and some clothing. And family,
nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Family came in to check in, and they said, we don't see that every day.
That's interesting.
Let's see here. Old Nightbot. Yeah, it was a great turnout. And like I said, it probably took, maybe 10 minutes of solid traffic for the motorcycles.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
I got some drone footage.
And so we'll have that coming up.
It was very impressive. And it's about a 97, 98 mile route that they take. And they didn't get back till 5. Kickstands up, and they were rolling at 11.
Yeah.
They didn't get back till about 4:35.
Yeah. And we went over there at 5 to, we did some work earlier today. We went to Angel Park, and of course, and paid tribute and got some pictures there. Absolutely gorgeous place. If you're ever up in Evansdale, look up Angel Park and go there. You'll absolutely see how that community come together. And if you go back in time and look at some of the original images of this island, and what they've turned it into as far as the community support of memorials for this family and others, it's absolutely amazing.
It is beautiful, and it's well kept.
Oh, yes, well. Absolutely. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Some of these guys, but anyway, but like I said, they have everything's originally, of course, they have gazebos for different families, and then of course they have this artwork, and of course here we have Ruckus standing before the crowd as they cheered, screaming Ruckus, Ruckus.
Both of
them. Yeah. And then he's looking, where did they go?
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah. And just in time, they put, what about, do they approach?
Nobody even knows who I am here.
Yeah.
They know Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know who I am.
But yeah, it's absolutely amazing about it. We also went to the 7 Bridges. And tell them the difference from the last time that you was here to this time of how the terrain has changed and what the water stages and what's going on up there at 7 Bridges.
It was at the top of the bank. So, and you can see there was standing water. Those little baby frogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of mosquitoes, gnats, and ticks. But there had been standing water all the way up to the road. They actually have it. They have a cable across, so we had to walk back there. And I carried my own stuff. For the record, I carried my own stuff. But it had recently come over the bank, so it was that floods frequently, and that terrain. Everything's changed. You were there a month ago?
Oh,
or
yes.
So?
Yeah, about 3 weeks, 4
And I'd
weeks.
imagine it's changed since then.
It has. It has. There was where the recovery, if you ever look at any of the old footage of where the Elizabeth and Lyric were recovered from, even that area has changed due to the flooding. Trees are, of course, have been knocked down, and root balls are up, and there's standing water in a lot of areas. And this is, of all the visitations of the dozens of times I've been there, this one was probably the most hostile due to, I've never seen as many mosquitoes as we saw in this last visit while we were there. And we spoke to a lady today that had some interesting information about the year that they were found was the first year that I think that hadn't flooded.
It was a drought that year.
It was a drought that year.
Yeah.
And but all the other years they say it routinely floods and everything, which of course if it had flooded then, what would the outcome been? Would they even have been found? We just don't know. But that location is extremely remote, and
there was standing water pretty close to where they were found.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing.
It's turned into a swamp since the last time I saw it.
Let's see here. Miranda says, True Crime Web, I know I always ask you guys, but is there anything you can share about the case moving forward? I wish we could. Other than, of course, we are making new contacts, and we gather new information every time. As we work these cases, we go in, and our job is to try to generate leads for this and new information, and we do. Everything, whenever we develop any type of tip that comes into us, we share that information. But of course, law enforcement has kept everything extremely close to the chest, and they don't share back anything of what our information does. And Drew will be hitting upon that probably more tomorrow night, because he talks to law enforcement routinely, and we'll let him decide if how he wants to speak of and talk about how law enforcement is working with him. But everything we turn in, of course, they've welcomed, and it's not been an issue at all. I wish we could share every fact with you, but as we work all these different cold cases in different states, it's always the same, that we just can't share some information.
And it's a one-way street.
Yeah. We don't
get information coming in. They don't provide even feedback on that information. And they shouldn't.
No,
they shouldn't.
CJK must be talking about your experiments down in because I had nothing to do with it. No. Yeah, I was trying to talk him out of
it. In a very public area, I might add. Yeah. But that's not new to us. We've been known to take over whole dining areas and set up exhibits and stuff.
Nana 73 says, can't stay, but will replay. Wanted to show support. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you very
that.
Much.
Molly says, True Crime Web, are you going to be allowed to return to stay at that hotel again? I hope nightmare fuel doesn't appear in the hotel. It'll scare someone to death. Actually, I have that mannequin with me also, and I used it for a demonstration on another case in a different state. And when I can share that information of that mannequin and the exhibits for that Ruckus and I worked on a week and a half ago, and then I brought it up. So, but I'll be sharing that at sometime in the future whenever law enforcement allows us to speak of it also. But it's in the bread truck, as Ruckus replies.
UPS man.
Yeah, UPS. Junior Johnson, good to see you. Hello, Anna Lizette, good to see you. Miranda Lee says, "Oh, Olivia, I don't want to hijack the chat, but I want to tell you my dad passed away this past Sunday. I know you always ask, love you." Yes, Miranda, my thoughts, prayers are with you. Ruckus has shared that information with me that you had asked, and we are absolutely, as always, it affects us all whenever we lose a brother, a fellow law enforcement officer. We hate that, and our thoughts are with you.
You know how to reach me if you need me, Miranda.
Let's see what else is going on in here.
Now, we did, as you all know, the last trip, Steve had a dash cam, and he hasn't finished processing that. But we did have some contact with state law enforcement officials during that trip. Well, Steve had contact with local law enforcement officials without me in the vehicle. So he can't blame me for this one. Now, he got away with saying, "Oh, it's a rental vehicle. I'm unfamiliar with this. I don't know how to turn on the headlights." But we all know he's rented this same exact model every time he goes. But
well, all I know is they said there's a guy on the street corner making phone calls, snitching somebody out about he has no lights and he's stealing tires off of campers
in the Walmart parking lot. I may or may not be in the witness protection program for a bit.
Oh, Melissa says, "You guys really live right now or pre-recorded because it looks like you two are next to each other." We are next
to each other.
Yeah. Oh man.
Now, of course, I'm ever so slightly behind Steve because he's the focal point. So he said to make sure that I scooch my chair back.
Cryptech says, Ruckus, Delphi, do you think there is a potential connection, Delphi and Evansdale?
Nope.
Explain to them why.
Nope. They're both, you have to have an intimate knowledge of both of these locations. And if you went to both of them, Cryptex, you would understand what I'm saying. It's astronomical, the odds that there's somebody that knows both areas that well. They are similar. They're two girls, and they're on a public trail. There are some similarities, but it stops there. I bet a lot of money that they're not connected.
And I agree, absolutely. That, and I did a lot of research into it and did a comparative of them. And when you look at it from all the commonalities between the two of certain things, and you look at the evidence, you would say, "Oh man, it can't be a coincidence." But until someone can show that we have an offender that has that intimate knowledge of both locations, no, you're not. Someone traveling down the highway is not going to go to Seven Bridges. That is it's 20 something miles away, and it's multiple turns. And even if if it was your goal, the road signage showing you where it is non-existent.
Minuscule.
There's one sign that says turn right.
Mm-hmm.
And even after you turn right, doesn't mean you're going to find it.
Yeah. And I've talked to many people in Evansdale that never heard of Seven Bridges, to include Drew. Before all this, he'd never heard of Seven Bridges. I've talked to many people in Delphi that before that case, they didn't know anything about the Mononai Bridge. So
Anna says, "With all the mosquitoes, I guess the offender wouldn't have wanted to spend a lot of time in summer at the Seven Bridges site." And this is a really good point, because this morning we had the discussion, because I was talking about going back to Seven Bridges again before we leave in a couple of days, and just to look again and check around. And you never can spend too much time looking at these scenes trying to evaluate. But this is a good point. Normally, the year that it was in a drought, and I've been here in times of the year over the last couple of years, and been up there where, while you may have a few mosquitoes and you may have to spray a minimum amount of bug spray, but we lathered up with bug spray, and it still did not have much of an effect. So this is a good point. If it was in a certain water table, the mosquitoes would absolutely had this effect that they wouldn't have wanted to spend time. But as the person that was very familiar with it, and during that time frame and had spent time up there, said it was a drought that year and it hadn't flooded, and so you didn't have those pools of water. There's pools of water everywhere up there now, in the road.
And it was slick back there in the vegetation.
Oh,
it
yes.
was very slippery.
Yeah, we came to the motel, and I think they've had to mop the hallways coming from the front desk to the elevator 2 or 3 times from our mud transfers as we have gone back and forth to the vehicle trying to get cleaned up. But this is a good point, that normally, if you had known of the past history, because like I was telling Ruckus this morning, I don't know if I can go back right now without a blood transfusion, because
you'd be anemic.
Yeah,
they were miserable, gnats and mosquitoes.
Yeah,
it looked. I took a few pictures, and it looked like we were in a fog bank, but it wasn't. It was all the gnats and mosquitoes, and they just hanging out waiting for dummies like us to walk into the woods so that they can attack us.
This is absolutely serious. I handed Ruckus the bug spray, and as he opened the door to get out of the truck, he was spraying. And I mean, I wore a long sleeve shirt. I'd been there before, and I was going to be and we spent quite a bit of time up there in the woods, but even with that long sleeve shirt, I was still getting eat up. And but it was unbelievable. And we carried the bug spray with us. Ruckus did have a moment of brilliance. He said, "Let's carry the bug spray with us." And because I sprayed off 2 or 3 times while I was there.
It was bad. It was bad. And we've got a small army of gnats and mosquitoes that are residing in the van. They were able to get it. Yeah. They'll be going back to Georgia with Steve. He's never going to get them out of there. Yeah, I literally had to lay down some suppressing fire so I could get out without getting ate up.
Heard true crime web. So because of the flooding, did that hinder getting samples, or would those samples apply in this case? No. In this case, this is not part of our eDNA study on this. Seven Bridges, while it is off the beaten trail, there's a lot of people that visit, and it doesn't meet the template of areas that we're looking for eDNA due to human traffic. If you went out west with us in some of those areas, as some of the other teams will tell you, such as Anna, that those areas, there's no or very little human traffic or contamination along some of those areas.
I would expect to find human DNA back there.
Yeah, in this, Seven Bridges. Yeah. Al on the prowl. Good to see you. Oh, Junior's been not feeling well. Went to the hospital for 4 days. Hope you're feeling better.
But we've got to spend a lot of time with Larry and Drew this trip.
Yes. Yeah, we just left Drew, I guess, about 20 minutes. I mean, we were pushing the envelope to get the show started because they're still over there, and they've got some cleanup work to do tonight. And this is a very emotional time. The families are, we spoke to Drew's sisters, brothers, family, mother, and it's absolutely amazing the support that he has around him. And when you see the community, Drew, they absolutely just swarm him with love and respect. It's a great thing to see.
And apparently I had an outburst in that establishment, and Drew has petitioned them to ban me permanently from that property. He mentioned that as we were leaving as well, that this may be the last time I see the inside of that property.
Oh yeah. He had to, Ruckus had to surrender one hat. He's not allowed to go back on the property wearing one hat. Mustang 65. Justice for Lyric and Elizabeth. Thank you. Absolutely.
100%. This community is amazing, guys. And I didn't have one bad experience. Everybody that remembered us for last year was very, very friendly. The hotel staff here is fantastic. They take good care of us. But it was very enjoyable today to meet somebody who said, "Oh, I know who you are, Ruckus," and "Oh, you got the national treasure here too."
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, see.
But we were able to sneak in an interview or two as well while we were here, so that's good.
And Anna brings up, and this is a good point. It used to be interesting comparing, and that's true. Before Richard Allen was identified as the offender, you could justly say that there is a possibility of being linked, but you would have to find an offender that had knowledge of both locations. And we have no connections that I know of that Richard Allen has any connection to this, and therefore, unless someone out there has that knowledge and or that information to link him, then of course, absolutely, that's the thing that separates Evansdale. True Crime Web. I've looked for Seven Bridges on map, and it doesn't show up very often, or it looks like a park area, but isn't labeled, named. Weird. Yeah, you have to search up the pamphlet for Seven Bridges. There is a pamphlet identifying it, but it's just I have it somewhere, but I found it probably on page 5 or 6 of a search. But I know the address, and I think it's 3015 270th Street, Reedland or Redland, Readlyn, Iowa. So if any of y'all wish to go to Google and look it up, you can find it there and look at it, and you'll see the terrain. There's no houses. It's down long, dusty dirt roads, gravel, and we had to walk in. Right now, it's chained off. You have to park out on the main road where the Mosquito Hotel is, and
that was crazy. I never seen nothing like that in my life. And Steve got one that fought through the bug spray, took a bath in it, and then crawled into his eye.
Yeah, and I could tell
him out of action for a few minutes.
And I could tell because it had bug spray on it.
That was like salad dressing for that guy. But I think I'm almost positive that I have the GPS coordinates. So when I get home, I have them on my computer. I can throw them on my community page. And if you guys want to use Google Earth and pull it right up.
Gilbert, True Crime Web. Do you think the suspect goes back to the area? We know that whoever the suspect is, that he may have, even within the FBI profile and law enforcement, it's often been referenced that they believe that he had intimate knowledge of that area. And to go to that area, you either have to fish it or hunt it. And so, did he go back? Did he frequent that area prior to using it as a location for him to take Elizabeth and Lyric? And I would think that yes, he went there to fish and things. And has he been back to fish and things? It's possible, but we just don't know. And but like I said, you just wouldn't chance upon that area. But the way the layout, when you can drive to the parking area that is right alongside the river, that if you drove back there, you would immediately know of all the other persons that may be present. If there's no vehicles there, it's not someplace where people just walk to. You pretty well have to drive there, and because it's so far from the other residences. And so you would be able to pull in that parking area alongside the river and instantly know that you're isolated. And that could be information that they would gather prior to the crime being committed. And they may have gone back and fished again. I don't know. That's just some information that we just don't have any idea of. There is a memorial still there. And we visit it. I always visit the memorial and pay my respect there, as a lot of people do.
Got to spend a little time with Drew's mom, and she is amazing as well. She was telling us that they organized a Halloween thing out there on the Angel Island where they pass out candy for the kids, and it's a big turnout there as well for that on the Halloween.
Miranda Lee says, let me, what was that? My blue light.
Oh, I'll get it for you.
Okay. We're having to do a new blue light. My blue light just fell off. So boom, boom, boom. For Miranda Lee. For whatever reason, Ruckus has broke my blue light.
Y'all look, my hands have been right. I haven't touched anything.
And since they gifted One True Crime Web membership, thank you. I can't believe you broke my blue light.
It's a first-class production right here.
Yeah. What are the odds?
Astronomical. I haven't torn anything up last 2 trips. But we've even got Larry's been over the past couple mornings meeting us here for breakfast at the hotel, so we get to spend a little time with him in the morning as well.
Skullified says, how do y'all like our Iowa weather? The weather's fine. The mosquitoes absolutely is unbelievably bad. I've never seen anything like it. I've heard of things north of the border in Canada about mosquitoes.
I think we may have identified a new species of that one swarm that we walked through. Sounded like 10,000 little tiny drones.
That's the only thing that we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of flies, but not deer flies. We haven't been bit or anything by any type of flies yet.
Now, I did cut my arm and it did bleed from Steve swinging a thorn bush at me. And I may have to get some cosmetic surgery to repair that. But other than that, unscathed.
Yeah, I was able to take some of his skincare products, sterilize and wrap his arm.
That was nasty in there. I don't believe any. There could be a 12-point buck in there, and I don't think I'd wait for him.
Yeah. Skullified says, Drew's an awesome guy, and I never met Larry, but I can tell he's just a good guy, father, wanting answers to. It's so sad. Absolutely it is.
Yeah, Drew's a good boy. So's Larry. And I think I've met most of Drew's friends.
So much respect for Drew. Absolutely. Like I said, he organizes this. He does interviews. His family is absolutely amazing how he's able to stand up and do this every year and wants answers. You had an outburst. Surprise.
I don't recall any outbursts. I was quiet, reserved, minding my own business.
Yeah.
And I guess Drew may have taken something the wrong way. I may have made a comment about something that he may have misconstrued as an attack against his personal character.
Mustang 65, justice for Barber Hall. Thank you. Melissa, justice for Evansdale. Thank you. Yes, we had on our last trip out to California, we had about a 3-hour discussion about you don't get the name Ruckus without there's some type of foundation.
How many people this week, past couple of days, say, "Yeah, I remember you're Ruckus and you're Steve, right?" He's like, "Yeah, they remember your name."
Yeah. The bartender today was looking for the bill, and he searched for 30 minutes trying to find his credit card, and couldn't find it, and then found his name, and he said, "Oh, okay, there it is," and
yeah, he's like, "Are you George?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, you're Ruckus to all of us."
Yeah, Al on the prowl says, in my opinion, they're not connected. My opinion also. I do not think Evansdale and Delphi are connected. No, I don't. Steve, is there any viable suspects so far? As far as what law enforcement knows and what they have done, I have no idea. Have they looked into people and interviewed people? From our understandings and speaking to the community, yes, they've spoken to a lot of persons of interest over the years. And you can, of course, look at a lot of creators out there have covered the story and listed out numerous persons of interest. But we don't know what law enforcement knows. And we don't know who their focus is and what, at the end of the day, which way they're going. We have no idea.
Yeah, this is a whole different situation as the Delphi case where those girls were located soon after. This was 6 months, 6 months after the abduction. So a whole different crime scene to process. So.
Miranda Lee says, Kristen behind the crime door has Galen Rose on her live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So please join to hear from the mother of the Floor 4 Angels. And if y'all are not familiar with Kristen behind the crime door, absolutely visit her and the Floor Fires. She does a lot of coverage on that, which is extremely important.
She's a sweetheart. I've got a few folks that are speaking with a pretty good Boston accent in this local area now, too. They pick up on certain words.
Yes. In Redland or Redland, I don't know which way they pronounce it. Iowa on Google Maps, you can 3015 270th Street, I believe is the address. If you type that in, Redland, you will find 7 Bridges. I already just did that. We're thinking a lot tonight, Miranda. We are thinking a lot. Jill Moser says, hello, Ruckus.
Hi, Jill. Hello to everybody.
Molly is fighting with Nightbot.
I can't keep control.
We've had some people get in arguments and welcome and say hello to Nightbot every now and then. They talk to Nightbot. They think it's a good name and they just talk to Nightbot.
Mine was booting everybody. It was, I think I turned it off. I'm not even sure if it works.
Well, we didn't have any gooey wasp A lot of it hit the wall, and the mosquitoes all unalive themselves in it. We would have had to put it on the bread van.
Oh, there's plenty on my side of the bread van, all over the window, the doors.
This will do nicely. TC, True Crime Web, do you think there was more than one offender? The FBI, of course, have done studies and stats on how often a single offender abducts two victims. It's extremely rare. Can it happen? Can it be like possibly has occurred in Delphi? And we still don't know at this point, even with Delphi, if it was one or two. But there's only been very few cases where one offender has ever made two. So if you go by the stats and mathematically, you would probably consider that there's two offenders on this. And so, not having all the information that law enforcement, and if I only had to go by the stats I would say it's more than likely it would be two offenders. If you go by what the FBI findings and studies have been. But that doesn't mean, because they did have an offender that even had links to this case that had on more than one occasion abducted two victims. And of course, he unalived himself at one point.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, bless his heart. But anyway, and was he considered a person of interest in this case? At one point, of course, they looked into him, and from our understanding, they eliminated him due to that he was in a different part of the state at that time. We don't know what evidence they had of that, of course, because they don't share it. You think it's one or two?
Two.
Okay.
I think it's multiple people, and I think that at least one of the girls knew at least one of the. They were comfortable enough to speak with them, and
Paula said, "Is a suspect from the area?" It's almost guaranteed that you would have to be from the area to know where Seven Bridges is. I've been there, and I still throw it into maps. I can get there several different ways, but yes, you have to know exactly where it is. So I would say yes, the suspect or the person of interest or the offender that committed this crime is definitely from this area. Hello, Christian behind the crime door. Hello. Yes, Ruckus has tore up my blue light.
you can't take me anywhere.
I have to hold it up.
You got to give somebody a stroke doing that.
Yeah, I have to move it around.
I have to put a disclaimer on the front of this.
Yes, and that we discussed that with her today about the absolutely amazing how much candy they handed out and safety stuff, and it's their foundation, which we'll talk about more tomorrow when if we can get Drew and lined up for to come into a conversation with us and discussion. Hopefully, we're able to do that tomorrow night. If everything goes to plan, we will be able to.
I wouldn't mind going to that.
No.
I bet you I could make a pretty good Uncle Fester for Halloween.
Yeah, can you believe? And I've been angered by this all day, that people have been comparing him to Uncle Fester. Relentlessly. I mean, the other night at the party, they were all over him. They were hunting light bulbs to put in his mouth. And I was offended by it.
You're a liar. That's what you are. I don't mind at all, though. These folks are great.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristen. That's very kind of you. I guess this is to you. Does Steve help take care of you?
He tried to kill me with the thorn bush. He swung it at my, I was able to deflect it with my cat-like reflexes.
Hi, Mr. Steve Ruckus, Moz and Chat. Finally made it back from dinner. Good to see you. Appreciate it.
Hi, Bama. Yeah, that turnout was impressive.
It was. And I think it was larger than last year, I think. At least this crowd here was, I think.
Well, last year we did the same thing. We went there until they, kicked off the ride, and then we worked.
Ruckus, you look amazing, my dear. Look at those arms raising high after that shoulder replacement.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was swatting. I mean, he looked like a boxer fighting mosquitoes yesterday, spraying, going through can after can of bug spray.
And I had short sleeves.
No, there's no Waffle House up here.
Mm-mm. We did find a good place for chicken.
True Crime Web. It is hard to believe Ruckus didn't destroy anything. Did you sedate him? I took him by the vet, got his shots, but as you can see, this is my new blue light that Ruckus repaired earlier.
He had me chipped, too.
Yes. If you do go by stats, yes, there's more than one offender if you play the numbers.
It depends on experience as well.
Steve, it's not the same credit card used during a recent traffic stop.
No. He asked for his ID, and he tried to bribe him with a credit card.
Oh, man. Don't catch a break.
And the one time I leave him alone in the vehicle, he's out there causing trouble with law enforcement.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lookout on me.
Yeah.
Somebody with trailer tires.
Yeah.
On his van.
Snitch. That whole fiasco, that picture of Steve I got with the 4x4. We'll speak about that some other day. Yeah, I'm not sure why they call it 7 bridges. Are they is those little bridges? Is there 7 of those that you drive across on that dirt road?
I don't know.
Yeah. I never gave that much thought before.
Oh, I have. I've sat there and tried to figure out that is there to ford that river, what 7 locations would there be? And, and there has to be a reason.
So don't look for a bridge on Google Maps.
No, there's no bridge there.
Right.
I don't know if there was a community named 7 or if there was a family named 7 or if there were 7 bridges. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that 7 could apply.
And it's the Waspy River, right?
Yeah, something along that line.
Now, the woman that we spoke to today said that there's a bunch of little tributaries that run in that general area. So maybe because with all that flooding and stuff. And there's some trees moving down that river.
Yes.
Big ones.
Anna says, I've never believed the Delphi trails were all that secret, but the 7 Bridges location would be likely known by someone who enjoyed the outdoors. Absolutely. Like I said, you're not going there. And even the person that we spoke with today spoke highly of it, that their family often went there due to that. Normally, the river at its lower stages is a place that you could take children. And we've been there over the visit in the past where it is still fishable and it's low and where kids can go and not be threatened by the water.
Yeah, she said there was a bathroom facility and picnic tables and stuff like that. That's back in the, I believe she said late 60s, early 70s. Now you can hunt back there. I doubt you were hunting back there if they had it set up for families ago.
Yes. I like you was highly offended by anyone referring to him as Uncle Festus.
You should have seen the 3 of them sitting at the end of the table, giggling like little girls, passing the phones back and forth, laughing at pictures of Uncle Fester. At my expense, of course. And I'm a delight. I don't know why they would even start with me.
Yeah. True Crime Web Ruckus will have to use your flashing light to do Uncle Fester. They want you to do that.
Might have to get a light bulb. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. We got to get you a light bulb.
Because I'll damn sure do it.
And Miranda, you're absolutely correct. There's a lot of offenders out there, and the only way that they devise and perfect these ruses to lure children is through experience. And so through that experience, we have other victims.
And that's what I meant by that. Depending on how much experience they've had, they may feel confident with 2 victims.
Hey, I'm Gomez. Look at here. Uncle Fester, I can see it, Ruckus. Mr. Steve is Gomez for sure.
Okay. Oh, the hand.
Yeah, the hand.
Was that cousin thing?
Yeah. Pitbull Mom, good to see you. All right, we're about to get out of here. We're getting close, getting caught up.
Yeah, Kristen's going to be on a few minutes with Galen.
Yeah. Steve, what's going to happen next? I have no idea what Ruckus has planned as far as snitching me out or putting bolos out.
I may or may not have put a GPS tracking device somewhere in Steve's luggage or on his vehicle.
Oh, yeah. You set one bag of groceries on fire in your kitchen and you never hear the end of it.
Nothing.
Could have happened to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, guys. But we want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Don't forget to go check out Christian Behind the Crime Door with hers. And we want to, as always, thank our supporters. This is the best I can do with the blue light right now because Ruckus broke it.
Yeah, it's a new show, the Fly By Night presentation. We'd like to thank all our sponsors.
Yeah. Gosh. But anyway, guys, we thank y'all for being here tonight. We'll try to get everybody together and appreciate all y'all's support, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night, guys. Stay safe out there.
Good night.